citizens in Donbass, they're innocent.
Right.
Yes.
They live on their land, in their houses, in their country. And now suddenly have to be cut off and give it to somebody living like a slave or under a fearful dictator like that. A fearful robber and murderer.
Yes.
How would anybody have the heart to put your citizens into this kind of system?
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Hung by his wrists and put in stress positions, Alexander Guz, a former Ukrainian military draftee, says he was tortured by Russian soldiers, and while his scars are fading, the memories of what happened to him are not. They put a bag over my head and then began beating me, he says. I was so severely beaten, I lost consciousness. Kremlin-backed forces seized control of his southern Ukrainian hometown of Kherson in the early days of its invasion. Since then, Moscow's grip on the city of nearly 300,000 has only tightened, with Kherson now an oppressive dystopia where allegations of torture and disappearances are widespread. You feel constantly under threat that Russians will come and take you away, he says. A bunch of volunteers in the city were already taken by the Russians, and we don't know what happened to them. Every so often, video emerges from Kherson of Ukrainian civilians resisting Russia's occupation, only to be met with violence.
It's not just a piece of land.
Yes, true.
So maybe that's why Putin and the gangs know it. That's why they bomb everywhere. They try to kill all the Ukrainians, as many as possible, or scare them away so that they just take the land. And only the pro-Russian stay.
God, sickening.
And then they will use that as a base to continue advancing further into other countries in Europe. They would take Ukraine in time, at another time, after they make themselves strong again. And children grow up more to become cannon fodder. Such evil.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
It's truly evil. There's no way to escape. There's no way to explain it.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Ask any 5 years old, they would say even the same as I said.
True.
Yes.
You don't have to have a lot of education or a lot of common sense to understand it.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
It's just that many people don't know it because they listen to Russian TV. They listen to their propaganda,
Yes.
Yes.
evil diplomats. So they think Russia is right. They think Ukraine was really fascist and bad. That's why Russia came in and helped them. They helped them with their refrigerator, maybe their washing machine, their new water boiler. Yeah, because it was still in the box. So the woman saw it piled on top of the tank with other things. She said, "Oh, that's right." Yeah, they came into my house and now they took my things. She ran away, you see.
Yes.
And then just by coincidence, they saw that. And also some Russian soldiers stole many things and sent it back to their wives. Because they talk about it. He listed them, told his wife what.
Yes.
And the communication system was not very good, so everybody can hear them. They can hear many things. That's why before Ukraine could bomb them, couldn't win because they knew where they are, the way they talked.
Yes.
I think Russia had learned something more now. Also, they have the backup of these two Donbass regions. So now they can kind of slowly gain some pockets. And slowly, they will probably take some more. I don't know if Ukraine would have enough strength and energy to continue. That's what I'm worried about.
Yes, Master.
They also will be tired.
Yes.
True.
They have good attacking drones, for example, Ukraine, that were given by other countries or maybe homemade. But now Russia brought in those killer artillery that even shoots them in mid-air already before the combat drones even have a chance to do anything.
Yeah.
For example, like that. It's too scary, man. It's too much. This war is such... Oh, God. It's like a demi-hell, huh?
Yes, Master.
All right, my love. Anything else? Did we finish that?
Yes, Master. Thank you.
You happy with my answer?
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
My poor old non-political, non-military old woman answer?
It was very good, Master. Excellent.
Yeah, you asked me all kinds of questions. I wonder why you don't ask these leaders instead. Yeah, we have no chance to talk to them, right?
Right.
Nobody let us in. We don't even want to see them. We get contaminated so easily.
That's true.
Okay, so it's another story actually, but what I mean is because humans continue to make bad karma, so we have all kinds of these disasters and wars.
Yes.
And there was an old story long time ago. Actually, a long time ago, there was a little village, maybe smaller than a village. How do you call that?
Hamlet?
A hamlet, okay, as a hamlet. Maybe they exaggerated a little bit, but they say if there are only 10 persons there in the hamlet, then 7 of them are robbers. Or thieves, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
The local government didn't dare do anything because they're so vicious.
Wow.
Or maybe they're weak. Maybe the government is weak, just like NATO and other European countries. In the beginning of the war, countries were scared of Putin. They didn't dare say anything, didn't want to be involved.
That's
Yes.
right. Yes.
Scared of him and scared of the nukes.
Yeah.
We can change his name into Nuktin, yeah? So they will never forget that he is scary. Yeah, so they're scared of Nuktin. So it's the same with the government in that old folklore story. They don't dare to even catch them. They just turn a blind eye because maybe they're too vicious.
Yeah.
And also these government officials, why should they worry? Because the thieves or the robbers would also not touch the officials. The officials or the government workers, they're safe. So it doesn't matter if these robbers go rob the normal citizens, poor defenseless citizens.
Yes.
So every time if somebody tried to sue them and even catch them, these government officers were just biased and so didn't really give them a fair trial. So these robbers, they were getting bigger and better all the time, more powerful. So they just rob anywhere they wanted. So now, after a while, the officials just felt too scared or something, or didn't want to bother, because they have peace, they have everything. Why should they have to risk their life to come and fight with the robbers?
Yes.
They could be even harmful to their lives or maybe their position. So they changed that hamlet name into not an official name, but like a nickname, like that robber hamlet. So whoever claimed that he lives in robber hamlet, even though he's not a robber, there were 3 people. If 10 people, then 7 already are robbers, and then 3 people are innocent.
Yes.
Even if they are not robbers, if they say they live in a robber hamlet, then the officials just let it be. Turn his blind eyes and, make no big deal out of that. Even though he knows they are wrong. They don't give them a fair trial.
Yes.
So now, some other people, sometimes from a different nearby village or something, if they have some issues with each other, with their neighbor, and they sue them, they will come in front of the judge of the whole town.
Yes.
And if they went there and were afraid to lose because their case was not good, then they would also tell a fake story. They made it up. They would say, I am from the robber hamlet. Then the officer would also let it believe it, don't dare to touch. So the other normal citizens were very, very angry. And every time came and argue with that guy who was faking his identity, you see? And then one day it happened that there was a fox, but this was not a normal fox. It was a kind of demon fox.
Yes.
In Vietnam or China or in many countries in Asia, we believe there is a legend that the fox can live for thousands of years. They practice some kind of method so they can live long, and they also have power that they can transform themselves into either human or something to suit their purpose. So this is a demon. Those who live long and practice magic. There was a fox who made a lot of trouble for the normal citizens.
Yes.
The fox, because he had magic and he was not very good, so he was making a lot of trouble for the people.
Yes.
So one day, the officers and the soldiers of that town captured this fox and put him in a cage. And then they invited a magician to come to make all this hula hoop stuff. And then so they caught him and put him in an urn. An urn like they put dead people ashes in it.
Yes.
Put him in an urn and then seal it and then burn it. Otherwise, you can never kill a demon fox by a normal means. So the magician has to recite some incantation while burning. Otherwise, it won't work either. Because this is a demon. It's lived for many hundreds of years and has magical power and can escape, even in the urn with the blocked mouth, sealed. So they had to give it to the magician to do the job while they were burning. And the fox inside the urn kept yelling, saying, "I am from the robber Hamlet." So, of course, everybody laughed. But it is a good, funny story, but nowadays it's still the same. It's not really funny, like Russia, just like the fox going making trouble and killing people and all kinds of atrocities.
True.
In the beginning, people were afraid of him, remember?
Yes.
Afraid of him and his gang, and did not dare do anything. The oil and the gas seal their mouths, seal their hearts, and seal their virtues, moral and principles. And now, finally, they got it. They got it together, and they banned the import of Russian oil into Europe.
EU leaders have given the green light to some of the toughest sanctions against Russia so far. They've agreed to ban most of the oil they receive from Russia.
This is very important. Thanks to this, Council should now be able to finalize a ban on almost 90% of all Russian oil imports by the end of the year.
Most of the countries banned that, except Hungary, Orban, for example. But I also have to say that the Europeans did a good thing. It's a lot of sacrifice for them.
Yes.
Suddenly, they have to go without comfort. Cheap gas, they probably could not manage yet, but oil, they already agreed to ban, except Orban and two more.
Right.
Yes, Master.